Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Now, before we get into the video, I wanted to just say thank you guys so much for the support in last week's video. It's absolutely insane. I've had so much fun going through and reading everybody's comments, and honestly, they've just made my absolute year, so I'm going to attempt to continue this momentum and continue to bring you guys content that you seem to really enjoy. Anyhow, with that out of the way, welcome to part 2 of Vanguard 8 months later. Or was it 9? Like a billion years ago in 2007, Infinity Ward would release Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Under the World, and it would be arguably one of the most influential first-person shooters of my generation. Now, first-person shooters, specifically ones with PvP aspects to them, they had a special quirk to them up to that certain point. One that you only were rewarded if you were good at the game. So Infinity Ward, seeing this void here, they did something that they saw as necessary in order to attract people to form a new paradigm in FPS gaming, essentially. They would implement round-ending XP. You would gain XP simply for finishing a round. There was also assistance XP for assisting someone getting a kill. There was XP for literally every aspect of the game. Call of Duty has used that ever since, even up to what I'm about to talk about, Call of Duty Vanguard. But the issue that I have is one that started in 2019 with the release of Modern Warfare, the reboot. God damn. In 2019, Call of Duty would implement something that the developers claim had been there for a long time, which I just don't believe that, was skill-based matchmaking, and then disbanding lobbies after a game's completion. So why exactly is this a big deal? Well, here, let me spell it out. Call of Duty gave this round-ending XP to incentivize players to keep playing the game so that they could eventually get good at the game and or just get addicted to it while just kind of, playing it casually. The skill-based matchmaking throws a fucking wrench into all that. For any player, what is the incentive of getting good? Well, prior to MW 2019, it was that you would get XP faster. Okay, that's cool. MW 2019, if you were to ask any casual player of any of those games post 2019, they don't really have much of an incentivization to get really good at the game unless they plan on playing in the COD League, which is just not really feasible for anyone without a large sum of money and or a large following. So you have this round-ending XP still present in the game, but okay, cool, why do I want to keep playing the game if I'm just going to get punished for getting better at the game? Because it would be fine if Call of Duty was already a competitive game, but at its core it isn't. Call of Duty got popular because it was more casual than the other shooters. Quake Arena, Halo, literally any other shooter. So Call of Duty taking this vital source of engagement from players and essentially flipping it on its head. Have any of the other elements of multiplayer improved? For this part, I'll be mostly having a look at Vanguard because the other two COD games are actually kind of different. And I say other two regarding to Modern Warfare and Cold War. But you probably already knew that. It's you. You're smart.
If I wanted to hear an asshole speak, I would have farted.
I just got done playing Call of Duty Vanguard, and I have a pretty clear picture now as to why the multiplayer for Vanguard is so incredibly flawed. It is the amalgamation of about 3 years now of Activision and its developers making the same mistake over and over and over again and not learning a thing. Let's start with part 1. So I mentioned previously that Call of Duty was originally conceptualized as a more casual shooter than the contemporary arena-esque shooters that were popular at the time, looking at things like Quake, Unreal Tournament, Halo, etc. So if you have a look at that, you have the round-ending XP, you have assistance XP, you have a get XP for unlocking camos, you get XP for literally fucking everything, right? And rather than having skill-based matchmaking, what they have is skill-based team balancing, which I think is a much better fit for a more casual experience, which is what Call of Duty, as I said, was originally conceptualized as. So rather than punishing people for playing well, they now form this is what is essentially a microcosm of camaraderie with the people that are in their lobby with them, and are more encouraged to keep playing and get better because there is a type of competition. With the way that SBMM and the lobby disbanding system works in Vanguard, there's no competition whatsoever. You just kind of see other people as just getting really fucking annoying after a little bit. Mostly because it's a new person every time, and you have no idea how they're gonna play. It's really one of those things that Battlefield has been doing way better than Call of Duty for the past like 3 years. Battlefield 5, you can find a dedicated server and run that server with the same people for literally 24 hours. And you know what this does? This incentivizes competition. Competition incentivizes the will to get better. And wanting to get better, it builds camaraderie between different people, and it builds relationships. Call of Duty is no longer about having fun, specifically Vanguard. Vanguard is more so about how can we sell the most microtransactions the most quickly. So how do they do this? You don't have a cosmetic? We're going to match you with people who have that cosmetic. And then what are we going to do? Like, say you play well that game? Well, we're just going to disband that lobby and put you in a lobby against other people who are way better than you are, simply because you just did slightly better than average that game.
Think next time you don't buy our skin, jackass.
It's not fucking fun. Now, skill-based matchmaking is perfectly fine in other games like tactical shooters or any sort of more competitively oriented game. As I have already mentioned, Call of Duty was never built for that. And they had even built upon that further by implementing things like random recoil, bloom, suppression, these things that are in Battlefield, which is a far more casual experience than Call of Duty. I never thought I would hear myself say this, but this is the issue that's been plaguing Vanguard, is it is losing sight of what it's supposed to be. It is trying to be 4 different games at the same time, and not one of those games is Call of Duty. And I want to continue this de-casualization of a casual game by talking about the class customization. The class customization is abysmal. Let's have this sort of idea, like, okay, you're given 10 points of class customization. I think it's 10 points at least. Perks don't count to it. The only thing that counts to your class customization are the attachments on your gun. So now you have no risk-reward factor for equipping any attachments on any sort of weapon. What, generally speaking, happens when the average person is given a massive level of freedom? They immediately go and look for something to follow because that is what is easy. That is the fan base of Call of Duty. They play the game because they're looking for the instant gratification that Call of Duty is known for. So, in spite of the fact that you get 10 attachments for your weapon, all that ends up happening is everybody ends up running the same attachments for the same weapon, and the entire multiplayer experience becomes homogenized. The exact same type of playstyle, and the exact same types of maps that we've seen for the past 3 fucking years now. Onward and outward, I mentioned earlier the customization and the game trying to sell microtransactions. These are not good or worth it in any way, shape, or form. So let's have a look at some of these characters. By fucking God, they are some of the most dismal character designs that I have ever seen, both from a narrative standpoint and from a physical standpoint. Neither of those things are interesting to me whatsoever. And if you go through and read all of the bios for the characters, which I don't recommend doing, they all read the exact fucking same, like they were written from a template. They liked to do this. Nazis came and did this. They hate Nazis and want vengeance. Every single fucking one. I Shit you not. Well, last week, I had somebody comment on my video that it just seems like that COD is getting extremely lazy, and I agree with that. It's like the more people buy their games, the lazier they get. It makes you wonder where all of these hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars in sales of not just games, but microtransactions are actually going. Because Jesus Christ, it's not going into the fucking game. That's for goddamn sure. Finally, I wanted to touch on the custom games and the maps. And the reason why they are last is because they are oversighted in game, so I decided to pay them very little mind in the video, because to be honest, there is not very much to talk about. The menus for custom games are abysmal. It's very like monochrome, I guess you could say. So if you have any sort of like dyslexia like I do, good fucking luck navigating those menus, man. As the font is too thin, everything's too close together, and everything looks the goddamn same. It's very bothersome. And going right into the main course here, which is just a half-eaten slice of bread and a moldy glass of milk, well, what can I say? I mentioned this in the last video. They've decided to move everything, including private servers, onto dedicated servers, therefore ruining private servers. There's no reason to play in private servers. Literally none. It is the most mind-bending shit that I've ever seen, and in the worst way possible. Okay, here, let me rewind a little bit. There are a lot of people who play Call of Duty and don't have very good internet, so most of the time they're left with two options, or three options actually: campaign, private match, private zombies. Only one of those things are now available thanks to Activision, Sledgehammer, and Treyarch thinking that it was this magnificent idea to move all private servers, regardless of game mode, onto a dedicated server. Like, what purpose does that serve? Not only have you made the experience worse for literally everyone, you've also increased your spending. You have to spend more on server upkeep. Like, what? And then last but and definitely least, the maps. I mean, like I said earlier, the same maps that you've been seeing for the past 3 years, just somehow even less organized. Like, I remember, like, big influential YouTubers like even the Act Man has mentioned, like, left, middle, right. At least those maps had some flow to them. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Vanguard maps feels like you took a Bob Ross painting and then implemented it into Call of Duty's engine and called it a map. No, you need to make sure that these maps actually play good first. I am thoroughly convinced that not a single person at any of the 2.5 COD developers underneath Activision's banner play their games. I seriously doubt it, because the moment that you get any concerns brought up by the community, they're ignored. You have concerns brought up by pro players, they're fined. It's getting ridiculous. The amount of time that Activision has spent in this echo chamber, and it's finally starting to bite them in the ass. I want to end this off with, they're not releasing a COD game next year, so there is a little bit of hope. I'll admit, it is a microcosm of hope, like a little propagule of hope, but it is there. So at the end of the day, what does all of this mean? All of this means that Call of Duty is having an identity crisis. Now, this video has felt kind of disjointed and a little bit, insane-ish. Well, there's a good reason for that. I am incredibly tired. I'm incredibly upset. I mean, I had to play both Modern Warfare and Vanguard in a single sitting for this video. That's not a torture method that I would use on my worst enemies. Anyway, if you have watched this far into the video, you are an absolute giga chad, because this is gonna be a fucking behemoth when it's done. I can already tell that much. But anyway, if you would like to see more content from me, leave a suggestion down in the comments. I am more than willing to take some advice or any sort of requests for videos. Because again, I'm human, so I can't just keep coming up with videos on the fly. I have a decent stockpile of videos, but again, that'll run out sooner or later. Again, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike. Tell me in the comments what you liked about it and what you didn't like about it. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Outro.
What do you think about that, huh?
Sometimes I just want to forget.